everyone, it's Froggy, and I'm back again with another episode of Nicole. So, now that I've sadly finished Ted's route, and I'm so sad about it, I loved him so much, but now that I'm done his route, I can finally start doing Darren's route, which is the one I was the most excited for. Although he's got some pretty big shoes to fill if he's gonna want to catch up to where Ted is right now in my books, because Ted is really high up there now. Anyways, so far, I had to play up to get to this point to start his route, and Darren's route seems to be the easiest. It's not even it's the last day of October and I've already finished Amity, whereas with the other guys, it was much more difficult. For Ted, I didn't finish getting Diligence until, the end of November, and the other guys was somewhere mid-November. So, Darren's I finished mid-October, and I've already started on clues, so him it's super easy. So anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and jump in. I'm so sorry, Darren. Texting and running probably isn't the safest idea, but I'm late. Seriously late. Oh man, if I wasn't meeting up with Darren, I'd probably be in so much trouble. The funny thing is that it wasn't my idea this time. Darren was the one who asked me if I wanted to hang out. That, has never happened before. My phone gives a little ring rumble in my hand, and I look down to check if Darren texted me back. Yeah, it's him. Don't worry too much about it. I am still here. Thanks, I'll be there in 5. I intend to keep to that too. I begin to hurry. The sidewalk is full enough that I blend in with the crowd, but still empty enough that I'm not bulldozing anyone down as I hurry to our intended meeting spot right near the football field. Darren is sitting at a bench, backpack on his lap. The curls of his bangs fall over the upper rim of his eyeglass lenses, and they sway as he looks up at the sound of my footsteps. I give him a tired wave and an exaggerated exhale. Made it! I plop down next to Darren and drop my bag next to me. I lean back, arching over the back of the bench to stretch my weary muscles. Darren humors me with a small smile and pockets his phone in his backpack. As I can see, it is fine if you lost track of time. I know how much effort you place in your studies. Oh yeah, definitely. You know me. Okay, for real, it was more like I lost track of time scrolling down Roller. But I was studying when he asked if I wanted to hang out. It was the truth. At the time, I look over my shoulder as I hear the sound of angry boys in full-body contact. The sights are blocked by the fence, but I can spot specks of white in navy uniforms through the gaps between the chain links. I'm used to the sound. I come by here when I meet Kurt for his tutoring sessions. Mostly against my will, since the doofus is too lazy to haul his butt over to somewhere closer to my classes. Nothing beats the sound of a cracking rib in the afternoon. You get accustomed to it after the first several times. I bet. Do you usually hang out here when Kurt has practice? Darren timidly nods. I usually do not have a better use of my time. The school's wireless connection reaches this far, so it isn't difficult to complete assignments or browse Roller in my spare time. And when Kurt is finished, we go to dinner. No offense, but that's totally boring. Except the dinner part. Sounds like you two have your share of hot dates. Please do not let him overhear you say that. No worries, I won't. I promise. I bet he'd ask if I was into that kind of thing anyway. Ew. I groan at the thought. It's really sad that I know Kurt well enough to reach his level of accuracy. Are you into that kind of thing? If I had a drink, I would have spit it out. I turn to Darren, blushing, and shake my head vigorously. No? God, I'm not that kind of girl, really. Man, I sound way too defensive here. However, I stop panicking as I hear Darren laugh lightly under his breath. What's so funny? Your reaction. 'Twas only a joke. I guess this is where I say, looks like the shoe is on the other foot. I think back to all the times that I joke around with him, and my blush intensifies as I realize he's right. Darren is the one playing a joke on me now. Alright, I get it already. Stop laughing at me. My apologies. I'll do my best to calm myself. That being said, he struggles to mask his laughter, This is so embarrassing, but it's nice to see him coming out of his shell. Lately, I've noticed that when Darren actually talks normally and isn't holding back, it's easy to see where voix comes from. Just get him going and bam! He's this smart, witty, and insightful guy who always has something to say. You know, when he can actually say it. After way too long, Darren calms himself down, and he casts me an apologetic glance, which I accept with a good-natured shrug of my shoulders. Sure you're done? Have any other jokes you'd like to make at my expense? If I think of any, you'll be the first to know. We both laugh at this one. It's like how our conversations tend to go online. Hey, since we're here with nothing better to do, let's go spy on the football team. Why spy? Darren points past my shoulder at the wired fence surrounding the field, showing me the open gate. I see people go inside all the time. As long as we do not disrupt the practice, the coach shouldn't have any objections to us sitting on the bleachers. Oh, good point! Why do you never do that? I feel people might find it strange if I'm sitting watching the football practices by myself. I lean in and grin mischievously. Sounds like someone scared people get the wrong idea. And you keep insisting that you aren't into that kind of thing. Not missing a beat, Darren gives me the smallest of smirks as he rises from the bench. I can only sit and gape like an idiot before realizing that I should probably follow. I told you that I'm not, Darren, I swear! Yeah, definitely being too defensive here. The shouts and cries I could hear from off the field are louder as Darren and I enter and head toward the bleachers. I take a look at the guys on the field, and they're currently in the middle of running some kind of play. I watch someone throw the ball, and it whizzes through the air like a bullet. One of the players is already darting out to intercept it. Is it who I think it is? I check his jersey, number 9. Yep, it's Kurt. Since he's quarterback, this must be some kind of trick play. Huh. The things you pick up when you tutor a football star. Wow, Kurt is certainly on point today. He sounds impressed. I don't blame him. Kurt may not be a smarty pants, but he's seriously good on the field. He catches the football no problem and is off sprinting toward the goal at breakneck speed. Even the coach looks pleased, and I've heard that he rarely smiles. Well, if I'm to believe Kurt, which sounds like a bad idea already, but eh. Darren and I climb up the bleachers as Kurt jogs his way back to the center field, arms raised over his head proudly. You know, I've actually never watched our team practice before. I should give Kurt way more credit. Darren looks at me as we take a seat. We pick one of the rows in the middle of the bleachers, not too high, not too low, perfect for viewing all the action. But you told me that you meet Kurt here to tutor him after practice. That doesn't mean I have to sit through the whole thing. Yuck. I try to come around the time it ends. Hey, I have an idea. I shrug my shoulder bag off onto the bleachers and take out my cell phone. Let's take a picture here. It'll be fun. Darren slides away so fast, there's a harsh screeching noise left in his wake. I wince at the sound, and when I look up at his face, he's wide-eyed and leaning away. No! It's nearly a scream in terror. I balk for a moment, unsure of what to say. You don't want to? No, sorry. I don't want to take a picture. Why not? Because, knowing you, you'll put that picture on your blog, will you not? Sorry, I didn't mean for that to be said in such an accusatory way. It's only that I do not want pictures of myself on Roller. I do not even mention my real name on Roller. You've always been really low-key on your blog, but don't you think it'd be fine to post at least one picture of yourself? It'd let people know who you are. That's exactly what I want to prevent. Darren looks away from me and out at the football players in the middle of practice. There's a very pensive, faraway look on his face, as though he's recalling something from the past. I'm not like Kurt. Yeah, thank God. No. I mean, Kurt is the type of person where what you see is what you get. He doesn't pretend to be something he's not, and he isn't the type to hold himself back, for better or for worse, as you're well aware of. But I'm different. People read my blog, and they imagine Voix as this certain type of person. If they ever found out it was me who was on the other side of the screen, they'd be disappointed. I'm nothing like him. I don't want to break their perception of who Voix really is. It's better if he maintains some sort of mystery to his persona. A moment passes as I let everything Darren said sink in. He's always been this secluded kind of person, but I never thought it was because of this. He thinks he'd disappoint people for being the way he is. Darren turns to me as if awaiting a response. Oh man, I should really say something right about now. You want to know what I think? Now we've got options, I can see where you're coming from, people are such jerks, and of course you're gonna want to choose that's pretty silly. I think that's pretty silly. What other people think will always be a little important, but it isn't everything. Besides, how do you know how they'll react if you haven't done anything yet? You're also forgetting one thing. I wink and raise a finger. I know all about you, and I still think you're one of the coolest bloggers on Roller. Darren studies me as if searching for any sign of insincerity, but I'm being totally honest here. Don't worry about being a disappointment or whatever, Darren. You're gonna miss out if you hold yourself back like that. Yeah, I also raised up his relationship points, like, so much. I bought him, like, a whole bunch of gifts. 'Cause why not? Perhaps. He sounds non-committal, but hey, at least he's considering it. I consider that a small victory. Quite honestly, though, someone like you wouldn't understand, if you allow me to say so. Okay, what does that mean? I place my hands on my hips and frown at him, expressing as much disapproval as humanly possible. Well, I suppose I'm trying to say... Darren hesitates to continue and his face lights up red. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Ignore me, please. That's such an obvious lie, but before I have a chance to shake it out of him, Darren is on his feet with a hand extended. You wish to take a picture, correct? I can do so, if you don't mind. I completely forgot about that. I give Darren a shake of my head. Nah, I don't want to anymore. I can't think of anything funny that I could put as a caption of a picture at a football field. It's the truth, but honestly, I'm just not in the mood for a picture anymore. I feel bad. I knew that Darren was shy, but I had no idea he considered himself a potential disappointment to all his fans. Darren retakes his seat, and we start talking about various things, starting, of course, with class, and moving on to various other happenings around campus. We don't talk about Darren's blog again, let alone taking a picture for it. At least, I don't say anything about it. However, the thought remains there in the back of my mind, nagging me. Come on, Nicole. There has to be something you can do to help. I hear the football coach blow the final tweet of his whistle, then look out to see the guys on the football team break out of formation and relax. Some straggle behind as they all head back to the locker room, laughing and chatting amongst themselves. I think they must be done for the day. They do tend to end around this time. It should only take Kurt about 15 minutes to change out of his uniform afterwards. I give him a funny look and he shrinks in his seat. I told you I usually wait for him after practice. After a while, you tend to resort to the mundane for entertainment. Like timing how fast your friends change clothes? It's not the most glamorous job, but someone must do it. I laugh against my better judgment, and Darren takes that as a small victory for him. His backpack gives off a chime and a little rumble, and he quickly reaches into the smallest pocket for his phone. Oh, Kurt wants me to meet him at our usual spot. He's, and I quote, really starved, so I need to move my ass ASAP. What a friend. Only the best. Darren pockets his phone into his jeans, then shrugs his backpack back on. Nicole, I wanted to say thanks. He chuckles awkwardly. It's always lonely waiting by yourself. It was nice to have someone to pass the time with. No problem, Darren. It's not like I wasn't doing anything that important. I was so nervous, though. This is the first time I've contacted someone other than Kurt, and I didn't want to impose. Anyway, I should go. I don't want to make Kurt mad. Will you be fine on your own? I wave his concerns off with a confident hand. Totes. I'll be fine. Get going if you don't want that musclehead coming after you. Right. Take care, Nicole. See you in class. He nods at me once before hurrying on his way off of the bleachers. I wave goodbye until Darren is far enough that he can't see me anymore. Now, he said the school Wi-Fi reaches this far, right? I take my phone out of my bag and check my wireless settings. Score! Darren was right. It's a few bars down, but I can definitely log on to the school network from here. I do so, then click on my roller app. Better to save my data plan for when I really need it. I got to thinking while talking to Darren. If he doesn't think people will like him if they got to know him, I'll have to prove him wrong, and the only way to do that is through an IRL meet. An IRL meet is basically an in-real-life meet. It's when people in roller go and meet up with their online friends offline. I have a few other roller friends in the area, and we've been making plans to meet up one of these days. Why not now? And this way, I can get Darren even more friends. I tell myself it's foolproof as I start up a message. I want it to be a surprise, which means I can't post about it on my blog. Unfortunately, Darren might see it. Thankfully, I have this other cool friend on roller. Her username is Shutdown03, but her real name's Kate. We've met a few times offline too, and she's so fun. She's on our school's volleyball team, another athlete type. Okay, I know I should be texting you instead, but you never check your phone. Remember how we were talking about forming an IRL meet sometime soon? Let's do it this weekend. Come on, it'll be fun. I send the message and stand up to head back to my dorm room. I get as far as the field gate before I feel my phone vibrate in my pocket. It's from Kate, and I read it aloud to myself. I'm not that bad with my phone. IRL meet sounds hella fun. Let's do it. I grin to myself as I read her text. If Kate's helping, this meetup is sure to be a success. Oh man, this'll show Darren not to be such a worrywart. I text Kate back as I continue walking, bouncing back ideas about time, places, and who else to invite. I've mentioned Darren's username once or twice to her. I'm sure she wouldn't mind if I invited him. I think she even mentioned wanting to meet him. With all the pieces coming together, I can't help but feel optimistic. I giggle to myself happily as my pace speeds up into a brisk skip. Everything's going to go great, I just know it. I don't think so. Darren is gonna flip. Anyways, I'm gonna end this episode here. If you guys want to see more, just click the I at the top, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys for watching.